up to on a rest day? We don't have a snake. Got rid of the snake. Fuck. What are you saying? What are you saying, mate? You alright?
Doesn't want the smoke.
Don't want the smoke. What is up, YouTube? Nah, I'm not C-Bar, I'm J Freaky. So, back again for another video. Today is a rest day. It is, what is the day today? Tuesday, the 14th of November. And we're gonna film a rest day. Obviously it is a little bit later on in the day. We've been doing some other stuff, planning our other project for the documentary. That's gonna be an absolute movie. But yeah, it's a rest day today. A simple one, gonna show you what a rest day really is when you're bodybuilding, and keep this one short and sweet and give you an update on where we're at. Digging hard, hardest I've ever dug. Food's the lowest, weight's dropping. It's tough, but let's get it, let's go. Rest day vibes. So, steps on a rest day. To be honest, I haven't had cardio. Cardio is in at the gym in this prep for weeks, because my body, I go, I don't need it. There's other ways to put myself in that, what is it? Energy deficit. Brain's dead, as you can tell, really is dead. But steps today, from last week. So this video is a week after our last one, which was the big density session. We, from last week, dropped the food. A few days, the weight stayed the same. I think it was up onto Wednesday. So then obviously Tim's over in Vegas with J Freaky 2 and Kingsley Coleman, KC Bum, and they won the Natural Olympia. So then Tim, I guess, was waiting to see how my body would respond to the drop in food. Weight dropped, but then stayed the same. So we've dropped it again, and now it's just flying off. It's the lowest food I've been on this whole prep. It's the lowest food I've been on this whole prep, and also lower than any of the points last year. But that is because this time round, we've been able to do a kind of a few weeks to refresh and reset the physique before then we dig. Last year we had the British finals, and then straight from the British finals we went to the world finals. This one, we've had some time where we can push body weight up a tiny bit, get training back where it needs to be to keep hold of that muscle, and then let the body reset. So then we can dig hard now, and that's what we're doing. So now we can dig hard for a new condition, and we've never done a dig like this in terms of being able to just go all in on that final show, which we're doing. Because last year, none of the shows that kept leading to one another were planned. This one, it's all we're focused on. So yeah, that's where we're at. I had steps, no cardio today, and that'll be the same, I reckon, for the next few weeks. 15k steps. So I normally do a walk in the morning, and then walk in the afternoon, especially on a rest day. On a training day, fasted in the morning. It's just like doing my steps fasted, train, and then finish steps off in the evening. But rest day is pretty simple, especially at this point. I had a trim today, got a sharp one. Did client work for check-ins, and then still trying to do some of my own study and stuff as well, with, I'd say, like my own personal educational growth, whatever you want to call it, and that's where we're at. It is 4:45 and it feels like it's 10 o'clock at night. That's because it's dark. We're going to keep showing you the rest of the meals I've got, just to show you what I'm eating. I'm not even going to put the macros on the screen, even though I said I'd do that in the other video and Aaron got annoyed. Because I don't even want to work them out myself because they're quite low. But this is just This is the second lot of it I've had today. Chicken and veg. This is meal 3. And breakfast this morning for meal 1 was just protein and dark chocolate. The final 2 meals on the rest day now, I've got some carbs. The last meal is the one I look forward to the most. I'll probably finish the video on that, and that's just cream of rice, and I cannot wait for that. But yeah, that's what I'm at. So I'm gonna enjoy this. Gonna let Aaron just do his thing, and it's just a real and raw rest day. 25, 24, something days out. Let's get it. Let's go.
Okay, so who would you say, so when you're going through like hard times, tough times, even training or not training, just every day sort of, if you're feeling a bit low about anything, is there anyone who motivates you or someone you look up to? And it can be in the fitness bodybuilding industry or elsewhere. Is anyone who like keeps you going during this whole like journey?
The motivating part, again, I'm going to answer this probably different to what you would expect. No, because only I am capable of doing what I do. People can say stuff to me, people can come to the gym with me. I'm lucky that I have a very close-knit support group, circle, that do help a lot. And I would say they help more and bring out the best Joe, mentally and physically. If I'm my best mentally, then I'm going to be my best physically. But motivating me, I'm the only person that can do that. Before last year and when I was younger, I'd say I looked to people to be kind of my motivation, but I'm my own motivation now. And one thing I'd say is that my motivation is, who was I yesterday? Because whenever I feel like whenever I feel like, let's say having a tough day or a bad day, I always think about who was I yesterday, and that's what motivates me to be better than that person yesterday. Because like I said before, I would compare myself to a lot of different people, and that's just going to distract you from your goal. Obviously you are competing against people on stage, but when you believe in yourself, you're only really competing against yourself because you know what you can do and you know that it's a journey. So all I think about is, what could I do better today? Push myself harder today. What extra bits could I do today to be better than the person I was yesterday? So that's internal motivation, I'd say. I don't look for external motivation now. Maybe a bit of inspiration, but motivation, that comes and goes. If you're looking elsewhere to find it, you've got to have the discipline, because the discipline is what stays. So I have the discipline to know that my motivation is going to go up and down, but I'm not going to go elsewhere to find it. I'm going to go internal, and I'm going to find that motivation to push on and improve by 1% from the person I was yesterday. That's it. And only you can do that, and only I can do that. No one else can do it for us, because they're not with you all the time. It's your life. You've got to want it. No one else can be your why, or I'd say maybe, let's say, no one else can say why you've got to do it. You know, if you really want to do it, why you're doing it. And that's down to you. So it's down to me. I don't rely on anyone else. And pretty, I'd say, individual, because I know that I've got through everything that I've been faced with throughout life. It might be hard, it might be tough, but I always know that I come out the other side and I learn. So that's literally it. I wouldn't say I have a motivation. I would say certain people in the industry maybe inspire me. C-Bum, but that's just a standard generic one. But he opens up and is quite vulnerable at times, which is what I rate, because I don't think enough people are. I'd say anyone at the top of their game could motivate me or inspire me at times, but I am my own motivation. and that's it.
Okay, just touching on that. So you kind of say not too many people motivate you. So we saw at the PCA finals that the MC basically stated that this went to your cousin Max.
Yeah.
Does that like, is that anything to do with anything? Like, does that help you?
I wouldn't say straight away. I wouldn't say I wouldn't say it's my motivation of why I do what I do, when I know there's people that do bodybuilding, do whatever, and they want to be the best at it. And there's a lot of other people in my position, my age, that are doing different things and enjoying themselves. I'm not putting myself through all of this and going to pretend that it's fun and happy all the time. But when it comes to my cousin, I'm doing it for him. It doesn't mean I'm doing it, he's my motivation. I'm my own motivation, but I'd say I think about it at times in terms of I want to leave a legacy that's going to inspire and motivate others, that shows that they can do whatever they want to do, because I want to leave something special for my cousin. He's not what motivates me. He is the reason why I maybe am able to keep pushing, because like I said, motivation is different. Like, that motivation is gonna sometimes not gonna be there. So I couldn't say he motivates me, because he's always there. That thought of him is always there. And people that say they're always motivated to do this, do that, they're not. I'm not always motivated to do this and that. But when that alarm clock goes off in the morning, am I going to just rely solely on motivation and things that could motivate me? No, because all I'm thinking about was get up, get to work, improve from yesterday. And you can have things like I do my cousin, that you are maybe doing it for them, to make them proud, and I only do that for a few people. That's just being completely real. But I wouldn't say that is a source of motivation. I'd say it's all got to be internal motivation, especially in bodybuilding, because it's a lonely game, it's a lonely sport, you're alone a lot of the time, and only I am in control of how successful I can be. No one else is.
Okay, so kind of touching on that a little bit as well. So as you know, bodybuilding is an incredibly hard sport to commit to. Like, it's a 24/7 like sport. You've got to think about food, training, like recovery, everything. How would you say this affects your mental health?
So this probably could be a different one completely, but I suffered mentally with mental health for a number of years, and I've opened up about it on social media a few times. I've never really, I'd say, gone into full details, but it is something that I want to do, because I don't really want other people that I'd probably more likely to be men, because I don't think men speak about it, to be suffering alone, and they've got to have people there to know that they're not going through it together. So I've opened up about it a lot, but I'd say at times bodybuilding can affect your mental health, definitely, but then it also can be I'd say the good outweighs the bad in terms of how it affects your mental health. If you really want to do it and you're not doing it for someone else, you're not doing it to please anyone else, you're doing it for you, then no matter how bad those bad days are, it's never really going to affect your mental health, because the highs will always, I guess, outweigh those lows. And if you numb the bad, you're just going to numb the good. So if you're not able to just sit through those bad days that are affecting your mental health, how are you then going to enjoy those highs when you reach or achieve whatever you want to do in bodybuilding? But it all comes down to how much you want it, and that's cliche, but it's just the truth. If you really want it, then if it affects your mental health, so be it. I found for me, it is a way of me developing as a person, and I know that if I push myself every single day, that I'm going to bed happy, because I've learned a lot about myself. I've improved, I've done something that is outside my comfort zone each day, in and out of the gym. So I'm going to bed happy. And the whole routine of it, the whole, I'd say, the loneliness of it at times is just a way I've found the last 2 years to learn about what may be causing any of those mental health struggles. And it shows you, if you are suffering like I was, that if you can get through this, which is at times you're basically like, you literally are starving yourself. You're saying no to everything. You're saying, sacrificing time with your family, time with your friends, like just for what? To stand on stage and to show off your physique and your muscles. It sounds stupid, but if you can do that, such a small thing, then you can do anything that involves improving your mental health. And it's just how you see that. And it shows you along the way that you're much stronger than you think. And that's what it's shown me, that in bodybuilding, you have good and bad days. In life, as people, mentally, with mental health, we have good and bad days, but it's just about riding it out. And everyone suffers that does bodybuilding, and everyone suffers that sadly is affected by mental health, but you learn to deal with it because you're just strengthening your mind more than you're actually strengthening your body.
So just one last thing on the mental health aspect of things. So how do you deal with it though? Is there anything you do to specifically deal with your mental health? Like do you meditate? Do you go out for walks? Do you go, I don't know, therapy? Or is there anything like that you do that helps? Or would you recommend anything to people who might be suffering with mental health?
So I would say the first thing, and this is obviously going to be completely away from bodybuilding right now as a topic, is accepting that, yeah, if you're suffering, that there's something wrong, even if you're trying to play it down to yourself. It takes a lot of courage, and you should feel proud of yourself if you can accept that there is something wrong, and you might not know what's wrong, but you feel a bit off, and you've got to be brave enough to get help. I didn't for so long, and it probably could have been helped a lot quicker and resolved a lot quicker if I did. Then, when you get that help and you dive into all the possible reasons why you may be feeling this way, it could be physical reasons in terms of in the brain, all that kind of stuff. It could be stuff to do with your past experiences. It could be a situation that's happening right now in your life. But as soon as you start to understand what could be causing you to feel this way, then the last meal of the day, little half time of what we're working on. Spent a few hours doing some work on our secret project. It's What It Takes documentary, because it's a rest day, making the most of it. Not a usual part of a rest day routine, just sat, talking, all that kind of stuff. But we're here to bring some of the best content, so that's what we got to do. Even on a rest day, at least I've got a good meal. So meal 4 today, I had 100 grams of jasmine rice, uncooked weight, and 155 grams chicken, pink salt and olive oil, 10 grams olive oil, and 1 gram pink salt. I have 1 gram of pink salt across all my meals today. So meal 5 is cream of rice, 150 grams of cream of rice, and I've been dying for this. Basically no carbs until 6 o'clock was meal 4. But we are gonna enjoy this, and then gonna have a little chat about a few things, and that's it. Let's get it, let's go.
We basically just finished talking about speaking about doing the documentary, and we thought we would just touch on some mental health and just men's health in general.
Yeah, we're just talking about it, and it's obviously it's Men's Health Month. A big part of that is mental health, and it's a rest day. To be fair, when you're on prep, rest days are harder than training days, because you've just got to sit with how you're feeling. If you're feeling pretty shit, you might be feeling pretty good. So it's good to touch on it. And I speak about it a lot, but I never really, I guess, spend time talking about it. And it's a big thing that I believe is something that I want to share with you guys. And yeah, like I have fun. I'm a bit of a joker sometimes. AZ Visuals knows. But at the same time, I want to help those that may need to hear something like this right now if they're suffering, men especially, because they don't speak about it with their mental health. So obviously I suffered, for a number of years with my own mental difficulties in terms of I suffered mentally, and I didn't speak about it for so long. Basically just was scared to speak out, and I guess that was purely because maybe I wasn't confident in myself. And just from filming the bit of our documentary, the bit that we've wanted to get done today, it made me think that looking back on it, I feel like the confidence that I've gained through bodybuilding is probably why I'm comfortable now to speak and share this with you guys, because I don't see it as a weakness. I see mental health, any difficulties that you may be having with your mental health, as a superpower, and I use it as my superpower because I would not be able to do what I do on a daily basis if I didn't have those mental battles with myself, which are still ongoing, but now I just know how to deal with them. So if you are suffering, speak up and break the cycle of being, I say, intimidated or worried that people are going to see it as a weakness that you're asking for help, because it's not. It takes a lot of I'd say it takes a lot of bravery to actually reach out for help, and that's the first step. That's what you've got to do first. And then for me, because I didn't do that for so long, the problem just kept getting worse. And that's what happens when you're in your own head. If you're not letting yourself get the support that you may need and start making those positive changes, then it's not going to get better, and it'll get worse before it can get better. So make the change now. And I'm encouraging you guys that if there is anyone watching this, that I'm always happy to help point you in the right direction, because I've done it. Like I said, I still suffer, but I know how I can get through those times now. And speaking up is what you've got to do first. It's a challenge. You're going to overcome that challenge. For so long, I was embarrassed to say that I had my own mental health issues. But you realise then that so many people, more people than not, actually have their own mental problems in terms of, well, not mental, I'd say mental difficulties or mental challenges that they have to overcome. So you're not alone. And yeah, this is a bodybuilding channel, but at the same time, it's about sharing my journey with you. And that's what this documentary is doing. So I guess this is just a little bit of a really small sneak peek of what we're kind of talking about, because it is November. And I want to raise awareness for men's mental health in particular. So what would you say, Aaron? Anything you got to say? Because we were just having a chat, and Aaron agreed that it's not spoken about enough, and I guess like people wouldn't expect me to speak about it as much as I do. But
no, I mean, I feel like in regards to mental health, like I feel like if you are struggling with any sort of mental health issues, like Joe said, you need to speak up about it. You need to not keep it yourself, because I feel like it'll only get worse, and it'll just build up and build up and build up, and then I feel like eventually you'll just crash, or just break down, and it'll just be really bad. So I feel like you do need to do something about it. Even if it's baby steps, like as simple as going out for a walk every day,
Yeah.
clearing your head.
Routine's a big thing. I think that's one thing. When it's this type of weather as well, and it's this time of year,
It's depressing.
it's hard. And I said that to you. I said it's hard this time of year. So all the things you have control over, and a big one is routine. Control that routine. And like Aaron said, small baby steps. But I'm always happy to help. I will be going into more detail in terms of mental health in the documentary. But you will get through it. And trust me, you are not alone if you're suffering now. It will pass and you will come out the other side, if you're suffering, a stronger person, because that's what I've done.
And make sure you speak to people as well, like your close friends about it.
Speak. Don't be embarrassed, guys.
Yeah,
That's
no.
all I've got to say.
Definitely.
Say Nizzy.
Cool.